Hello and welcome to another guest top 10 tenor tense 10. I am Alex O'Neill, your guest wrangler, your top tenor, your top to your bottom, your up to your down, Alex O'Neill. With me today for this is the last I'm recording, so it's probably going to be the last that goes up of the guest top 10s. Joining me is that boy, Danny Juarez.
I am the last guardian.
I am the last guardian. Are you guarding me against my sleep?
A little bit, yeah. I feel really bad.
It's like about 9 p.m. We'll probably
Yeah.
finish this around 10. I'm just going to go to bed after this.
Yeah, I'll get my plane ticket and come cuddle you.
All right. I mean, that's dumb, but I appreciate it. Hi, Danny.
Hi, Alex. I
How you
miss
doing, buddy?
I'm good. Today has been a day.
It's been a day.
Yeah. I'm officially single. I'm
Yeah.
back on the, I don't know, chopping block is what they call it, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, by the time this goes out, it's likely that you won't be single anymore. So, it really is.
Maybe.
There's really no point in really specifying this.
Yeah.
You're ready.
Yeah. So it's good to have you here. It's good to be with you today.
It's gonna be here with you today. Danny, I don't know how anyone who listens to this won't know. But if they don't know who you are, who are you? What do you do?
I am Danny Juarez, Stoke Danny on Twitter. I really don't know. Recently people have said I'm the super fan. Where I'm like, oh, I guess I never thought about it that way. But yeah, I am just like a personality in our geek/gaming community. Who
just
talks
hanging out.
about video games and nerd stuff.
Yeah.
My goal this year is to get YouTube rolling, especially now that I have a better job with making enough money to actually afford to buy my own equipment and stuff. So sometime this year, I'll be making the jump into more of like a social media well, I'm already a social media, but more of like a gaming presence in our community.
Are you talking about IP West? Rational Passions West?
I mean, if that's what you want, I'll get the ball rolling.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Take over the whole world.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe things will happen. Maybe I've got some ideas.
Yeah.
Um,
We've got things brewing. Stirring the pot.
Stirring that hot pot, that hot
Oh.
pot hit.
Dude, hot pot sounds so good. And Korean barbecue.
Yo, dude. Food sounds so good right now.
Why didn't you not get Taco Bell today?
Yo, because I got it yesterday, and I eat Chipotle too much to like Taco Bell with any sincerity anymore.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know.
So today I took Tony to Cafe Rio. It's one of my favorite places to eat here. And he moved here, I was like, so there's a Chipotle in this parking lot, but there's also a Cafe Rio, which is a better Chipotle. And then he was like, I don't believe you. I don't trust you. And I was like, okay. So we took him today, and then as he says, this is just a better Chipotle. And I was like, that's what I told you.
And then I blocked him on Twitter.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Video
we're
games,
here.
Danny.
Video games.
Let's do it. Let's get there. Let's get in this. Let's get thick.
So thick. Sext me, daddy.
All right.
let's
Honorable mentions. What didn't make the cut?
Inside did not make the cut.
Okay.
Played it recently. I guess I just played it at the wrong time. I was not on the hype with everybody talking about it. I get the narrative about it. I get the environment and the story and the world that it's trying to tell. And I did the secret ending as well. So I was like, oh, like at the end of the day, I thought it was smart, but I did think it was just a better Limbo. But it didn't do anything for me as it felt like it did for anybody else, because I just kept hearing how much people loved it and how it was their game of the year.
Okay.
Yeah. Fury did not make the cut. PSN free game. Really loved it a lot. Loved the boss rush feeling of it. That, the music, the high paced action, like it's all wonderful. But at the end of the day,
it was too hard for you. Yeah.
I beat it. I beat it. It was not too hard for me. There was a lot of frustrations with it.
I'm stuck on the fucking sniper boss.
I'm trying to remember that one. See, I didn't get stuck anywhere until I got to the other samurai guy, and that guy pissed me off. And then I finally got to it, and I sped through the rest, and then I got stuck on the last boss for like 3 days, and then I beat it.
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't gone back to it in a while, but
Yeah. Oh, okay. I remember the sniper boss now. It's the purple chick, and you have to jump on the platforms.
yeah,
That
you have
one's
to like it's like the big arena.
Yeah, yeah. That one's a cool fight. I like that one. The Division. Had a lot of fun with it, especially with all of us who played, and we had the group. Just not enough content there, and then when there was enough content, I'm just kind of out of it now. I do think for 2017 it will be a better game. And now I hear just ravings about the survival DLC.
Yo, who cares? Destiny 2, fuck it.
Let's hope and pray, dog.
Dude, this is a dream, man. Keep the dream alive.
Telltale Batman. Still haven't finished it. The reason being, I told you how I lost my save and I have to restart from episode 2. That's what I'm playing tomorrow since I finished Last Guardian today. It's just like I have another day off tomorrow, so like I'm just gonna sit down and play through Telltale Batman. But also like that engine just runs like garbage, dude.
I didn't run into as many problems as most people did. I'm very lucky for that. I did run into some frame rate issues.
I was fine until episode 3, and I had a lot of chugging and a lot of like not. I was doing the button prompts, but I wasn't reading them in time because of how like the engine was chugging. Firewatch, honorable mention. It was visually beautiful, good storytelling. At the end of the day, there was nothing that it didn't do anything emotionally for me to actually want to care about it. And I think there was
cold as ice.
Not
Daniel
cold.
Juarez over
it's
here.
Like I get emotional about things, but that story, like not that I didn't care about it, but at the end of the day, I was like, there was no payoff not seeing Delilah's face at the end.
Spoilers. No, spoilers are okay. It's fine.
Yeah, come on. Dark Souls 3. It was just more Dark Souls in my opinion. I had fun with it. Once I finished it, I didn't feel a need to go back and do any of the other storylines in it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, that was good.
Me too.
Yeah. Super Hot.
Hot.
Yeah, one of the few PC games I played. This one I had a tough time because I did want it in my top 10, but as I looked through everything I played, it just wasn't going to make the cut. I think it's very creative, very smart. I'm excited to try it in VR this year.
Yeah, I wanna see Super Hot VR. I've not played Super Hot, but I like the idea of it.
Oh, it's so cool, and I just love like when you're playing it. I got like a sense of an adrenaline while playing it. So I was like, I can't imagine what playing in VR feels like with it. Fire Emblem Fates. It felt like it was a step behind Revelations, and it tried to do too much.
Revelations or Awakening?
Awakening. I felt like it tried to do too much, and it was a step behind it. Especially with the 3 different games you had to go through. Birthright felt more like Awakening, and then
I don't think it tried to do too much. I think it just was too much game.
Yeah, there was a lot. And then Pokemon Sun and Moon. Playing through it right now, I do love it. It just couldn't make the cut with everything else. I think they are doing a lot of smart things of how they've changed how the game plays in the sense of like there's no HMs anymore. They're just Poke Tools now.
Just fucking summons.
Yeah,
you summon Tauros, and he's like, "I'm gonna fuck this boulder up."
So stuff like that, and then even the new battle system is pretty cool, and the way that the camera angles are in third person and all that now.
To be fair, you've only just started your Poke venture.
I did, but I do love it. But I at the sense of what I've read and seen people play, I was like, I probably wouldn't make my top 10. It's another Pokemon, another year of Pokemon for me.
Okay.
And then last honorable mention is Pokemon Go.
Fuck you.
It has to be in there, dude. It was the biggest craze, and people are still playing it, which is insane.
My mom still plays that game.
Yeah, and like they're finally getting to a point where they're realizing that we need to add more content frequently for people to be into it. But it is one of those. When the high was high, it was there, and now it's low.
I got a lot of weird, like, late night text messages from you saying, like, I'm in a park with my friends and we're catching Pokemon at 3 a.m. I'm like, what the fuck are you texting me for?
I just need you to know. I want you to be part of this. I need you to film me.
You're part of this.
I just called it another Bulbasaur. Oh, daddy.
Bulbasaur.
But yeah, that cuts it for honorable mentions.
All right.
Yeah.
All those games suck anyway. Let's move on to the real games.
Let's go.
Let's go, fam. Number 10.
Gears of War 4.
Are we allowed to talk about the game that tore us apart?
It was my fault. I'm so sorry. It's a great game.
I found out about how that game ends too, and I am so upset that you fucking had to go and see it.
But
And I haven't finished that game. I can't even bring myself to do it.
Yeah, here's the thing. So I couldn't remember how, because I didn't finish Gears 3, so I was like, I didn't know how the game ended, and people have told me, I was like, oh, okay. But because I didn't visually see it, when it got to the end of Gears 4, I was like, what the fuck is that?
I like hearing about the giant stuff that happens in that game. Goddamn. I feel like if we had gotten to see that like for the first time together, we would both have been losing our fucking minds.
Here's the thing. I felt like we were gonna finish that night in your house, but we were so drunk.
We were so fucking
tired.
drunk. Just delirious, like mumbling to each other. We kept getting caught in that fucking the one fight, and then the last time we played, we kept getting fight in that goddamn elevator.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
Oh my God. But yeah, I love it. I think it was a great way to bring Gears back. I love all the characters, and I like that the way that they bring back the old characters, where it's like not too much. And then for the sense of people who are saying like it is pretty much Star Wars Episode 7, like the storytelling is like, yeah.
And by them, you mean
Yeah.
Roger Picorni.
Well,
Shaboy.
Roger, our boy, and then Ryan McCaffrey too. And so I think like, yeah, dude, I totally agree with it, and I think I'm excited to see the next two entries or the next entry we're gonna get.
Yeah, I hope that game just gets weird.
Yeah, it already seems like it's getting a little weird, where a sense of like, first they're this and now they're the Locust, but they're evolving and stuff, and then like that ending in general is just like I don't know if we're gonna do spoilers here, but it's just like something's gonna happen with the chick. Like she's the main like component of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I should finish that game.
you should.
I'm in Act 5 now.
Do you want me to finish it with you? I'll finish it with you. Do you take me back?
I'll take you back.
Yes.
We have to actually finish it.
Yeah, we have to go deeper.
We gotta go deeper. We gotta find out what's going on in the swarm. Tell you what.
What?
Number 9.
Ratchet and Clank, 2016.
Hey, boy, you've played all the Ratchet and Clank games, right?
Yeah, I've played every single one. I'm one of the biggest Ratchet and Clank fans, and I loved what they did with this. The favorite was I saw the movie before I played the game.
Nice.
Where I
I'm
felt
sure
like
that really got you excited.
I liked the movie. I didn't think it was bad.
Okay. I haven't seen the movie. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm one of the few fans. But from what I was told was I should have played the game first, then watched the movie. So the movie is the story actually told, and then the game is told from Quark's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So some things are kind of warped and funny in a way, where it's like, no, this is what actually happened in the movie. But that game was like, everything about it was wonderful, especially being a fan of the series and like seeing nostalgia from the first game like back in this one took me back a lot to my childhood. And it just felt smoother and it felt cleaner, and the game was just beautifully done.
Yeah, it's funny because that game has popped up on a lot of top 10 lists. You were the first person besides myself that has played all the other Ratchet and Clank games.
Yeah.
For most people, it was either their first or maybe like second or third Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because I stopped playing after Deadlocked because I didn't care for let me rephrase that. I played all the Future Weapon ones on PS3. I did not play All for One or the Tower Defense one.
Did you play Into the Nexus?
Yes, I played Into the Nexus.
Is that one worth playing?
Yeah, it is actually. I mean, it's like $20 now.
Yeah, Navashin keeps telling me.
Yeah, no, it's worth it. It's a good way for them to send off the Future Tools of Destruction storyline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, All for One and Full Frontal Assault aren't real. They don't count. So.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the games is called Full Frontal Assault.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta think back. Those old games were named after like.
Yo,
things.
Going Commando, let's go.
I don't even remember what the third one was called.
Ratchet and Donk. It's called Up Your Arsenal.
Yeah, Up Your
Deadlocked
Arsenal.
is a good game.
It is. I really like Deadlock a lot.
Fucking haters gonna hate, but that
Right.
game's alright.
But Secret Agent Clank, fuck that game.
I never played that game.
I did.
Yo, Size Matters? Never played that game. Remember when they ported Size Matters to PS2?
Yeah.
Like 4 years into the PS3 life cycle.
Oh my gosh, it's like when they did Kingdom Hearts or not Birth by Sleep,
Reach into
Reach in
memories.
Memories on the PS2, and it was like, dude, the PS3's been out for a while now. Come on.
Like, get it together.
Yeah.
Dude, we're getting all the Kingdom Hearts games again. I'm sorry, we're getting off
I know.
topic
I just
here.
like it's crazy that this month, like, I was telling Tony and my roommate Brendan, I was like, dude, like, cool, like I get to play through my backlog this month. Nothing's coming out, and then they go, dude, Resident Evil 7's coming out, and then so is Kingdom Hearts. I'm like,
On the same day, for me,
Yeah.
it's Tales of Berseria as well, which I'm also very excited about. But we'll get to most anticipated.
yeah,
Ratchet and Clank's all right.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think it's a great reboot.
Yeah, I think.
I
so
think the
too.
story's good, and I think Nobishin's wrong by hating it. So
I like what they did with Nefarious,
yeah,
the way they changed him and
like his
everything. That was
origin
cool.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where they go. Like as much as I would love to say like, oh, it'd be cool for them to do Going Commando next. I would love to see them do different. Obviously, there's gonna be different, but like, what does the next game look like? You know?
Yeah, a wholly new Ratchet and Clank that kind of spawns off the original again would be really cool.
Yeah.
And it already has a lot of the mechanics that made the feature series really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I think they've got a fantastic groundwork, and I'm glad that I've said this in a lot of top tens, but I'm glad that the North Carolina studio finally like figured it out,
Yeah.
because they were kind of given this franchise as like the B tier Insomniac studio, but they've been like kind of hitting and not hitting for
Yeah.
a long time. So
So they got some in their hands, and it's like now, like I feel like they showed people like, hey, we did this, we can do this, trust us, and the next one will be even better. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's a polished, good video game.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like it was coming not really out of left field. Like people, I don't think people weren't expecting it. Well, people were expecting it, but I don't think people were expecting it to be that good. And then for the price that they sold it at too.
Yeah, 40
Yeah.
bucks,
Yeah.
40 bones.
You get it for like 20 now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all right. The
Go buy
game's
that
all right.
game. Go
Yeah.
support them.
Number 8.
Uncharted 4.
It's pretty low.
Yeah, it surprises people how low I had it, but when I look at everything else that's on the rest of this list, it just kind of like
You're like, oh, this reinforces my weeboo nature.
exactly. In the sense of like it came out really early in the year, and then it's kind of just dropped as more games have come out this year. Not that because it's bad, but there have been other things I've enjoyed more in the sense of I loved Uncharted 4 when it first came out and all the talks and discussions everyone was having, and at this point now it just looked at like it's more Uncharted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a good-
really good Uncharted.
Yeah, it's a really good Uncharted. It's a really good way of how they sent off their Nathan Drake in general.
The thing is, like, I hated how Uncharted 3 played. Part of the reason why I like 2 more than 3 is, like, I had a really terrible experience playing 3. Like, I thought it didn't play well. The shooting didn't feel great. And when I tried to replay it, because everyone was like, 3 is better than 2, I was like, well, no, it's not, because it doesn't feel as good. Every time I tried to replay it, like, I'd get to those arenas, and it just sucked. Like, the
Yeah.
shooting just sucked for me. But then I played 4, and I think 4 feels great. Like, as the combat in that game feels awesome.
Yeah, the combat feels great. The shooting feels great. The way that they do the combat arenas, like where it's just wave of enemies, like it's smarter than it was in 3, where it's like they're not over bombarding you.
Yeah, it
And
feels
they-
like movement is a big part of it. Kind of like
Yeah.
Doom.
Like yeah, exactly. They want you just to continue in moving, not stand in one place.
Mhm.
Except for like there are sniper parts where like you sit in a place and stuff like that. But even like that, the last quarter of the game where it's like you're chasing after Sam and it's just like one room after another of enemies. Like they've made it smart. With like Nathan just has to constantly be moving and shooting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think that game is fun. Where I think that is a hard thing to say for some of the other Uncharted games. To like not just the climbing and the puzzles and all that, but like actual fighting in it.
Yeah.
Um,
And the puzzles in this one were smart. It
Yeah.
wasn't like too like brain racking or anything that was kind of like this is annoying. Like everything was smart and they want like you'd figure it out by like the environment in the room and like your journal. And I love the way that they did the journal in this game too.
mhm. Just
Yeah.
like leaning into the stuff that made it really great in like Uncharted 1 and 2. Yeah, it is the Uncharted formula, but distilled and like rebalanced to be the best it could be. And that story's real good.
Yeah. So, like Naughty Dog's master of storytelling. I'm excited for the Uncharted Story DLC, the episode or whatever,
Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy, and then, I mean, we were there for The Last of Us 2, and then Neil Druckmann said, like, trust us, we know what we're doing. Like, we're just as worried as you are. So it's like, they know how to tell a story, and they know how to run the PS4 at its peak. Because Uncharted 4 was beautiful the whole time.
Yeah, and they know how to make a good sequel. I think it's a tricky thing to do when you look at something like Gears of War 4. That's a good sequel, but Uncharted 4 is an incredible sequel.
Yeah. Especially for being a fourth game in an installment.
Yeah, like, there's a way to make a sequel story that relies on its predecessors, but, like, built on them and then delivers on them.
Yeah.
And I think Uncharted 4 does that. That makes me really believe in the idea of The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. But, man, that hook shot, give me more of that in video games.
Number 7.
Speaking of hook shots, Titanfall 2.
Oh, boy. Yo, Titanfall 2. Bah, 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 bah.
That game was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. For people who have, friends of ours, colleagues who have just been like, oh, it was my least favorite shooter, or they said Call of Duty, and I was like, okay, Battlefield 1 I understand, but Call of Duty, it's more Call of Duty. And from what I was reading and hearing,
I don't understand Battlefield 1.
I don't understand Battlefield 1 either. It doesn't make sense to me. Titanfall 2's campaign does so many things, wonderful. And we've talked about, how every part of the game they try to teach you new mechanics of the gameplay, and we want you to play with this for a little bit and fall in love with it. I tell people all the time that campaign is one of the best campaigns I've played this year, and it's one of the best campaigns in shooters I've played in a long time.
Yeah. And I think it had good company this year too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the big disconnect for most people that I've been consistently running into is that they feel like either they don't like how the Titan feels, being in the Titan feels, or they don't think that the mobility of the foot soldier meshes well with the Titan, the weight of the Titan. But for me, especially in multiplayer, I think that transition is perfect.
Yeah.
Because anytime a Titan falls, and you get into it, and you go from that foot soldier, that mobility, to that powerhouse, it feels like a tonal shift for the match, for the game, and it's poignant every single time. It felt, and I got pretty good with the Titan. I think that's a big part of it, and I felt I could fuck shit up in that thing.
And I feel like they give you enough different Titan preferences for you to feel comfortable with what you want. This is how you play as a Titan.
Yeah.
And in the sense of how do you want it to be when it drops? Do you want more shield? Do you want to go into autopilot? What weapons do you want to use and stuff like that? What's do you prefer Ronin, or do you prefer the fire one? It's just they give you so many things to work with in that game in multiplayer.
Yeah. And the campaign is just such a great playground for it. I know the time level is, everybody loves it. I love the airship level at the end a whole lot. But that storming the beach level.
Oh yeah, with the Titan.
The full on Titan war.
Yeah,
is fucking incredible.
Incredible. Yeah.
For
me, it was the pistol, BT pistol part.
Oh yeah.
That sense of the homing, the just constantly moving because they the ship's going down, all of that was just fuck, this is awesome.
Yeah, especially it's a thing from that first game. I don't know if you played Titanfall 1, but it's a thing from that first game that you're kind of I'd forgotten about up until that point, and as soon as I remembered it, it was awesome. Let's go.
Yeah. And
you're just wall jumping and killing dudes and fucking shit up, dude.
Yeah, but even the multiplayer, everything about it, in multiplayer, I prefer the hook shot. I feel like they should have given every shot the hook shot and then a different perk. But I know some people are no, I love the med pack and all that stuff. Where I'm oh, okay, that's weird.
I like the stim.
Yeah, the stim pack, and so I'm oh.
I like that speed, man. Just.
I know, and I watched MLG clips of people playing, and then when I watch people play that game, I don't understand how they're not touching the ground at all.
Yeah, there's some fucking wizardry shit with running in that game. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2 is great.
Just Respawn knows how to make a shooter, and they know how to make a great campaign.
Those guys have a fucking legacy. Man.
Yeah.
They made the modern first-person shooter.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad that the praise that they are like. I get that there's not a lot of hate, but there's not like a lot of praise coming from it. But the praise that they are getting is very highly, and it's coming from like pretty like big names in the industry too, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, I hope they get a third crack at this because they really deserve it.
Yeah.
Number 6,
Oxenfree.
Dude, I didn't know you played this game.
Yeah.
I just played this for the first time recently.
Now, how many playthroughs have you done?
I just done the one, but just because I didn't have time to kind of go back to it. I've done kind of research, seeing some of the other shit that can happen.
Okay, for people listening or watching this game, we're gonna go into spoilers. I'm sorry if you haven't played it, but it's really hard not to talk about.
There's gonna be spoilers in the notes, in the show notes, so
yeah,
they'll know.
Yeah, that game, dude, is wonderful.
That game's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like the storytelling is awesome. The characters, I care about them a ton. Even after I did my first playthrough, I was still like wondering what happened, and then like I wanted to go back, and I've gone back now, especially on the PS4 with the New Game Plus mode, because I played when it first came out and didn't have it, and then when it came out on PS4, because I was like, nah, I don't really want to go back to it. When the PS4 version came out, I was like, yes, like please give me the New Game Plus mode. I'm excited, and it's a smarter, better game now, with everything they've added to it. I love the feeling of it, the eeriness, the mystery.
The music is so good.
Yeah, the music is awesome. The feeling of like Goonies is like hits me when I'm playing it, and it's like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Just it's the mechanics of the game, with all the time warping and stuff, is super cool and super interesting, and the way that it plays into the story. The emotions of the main character and her brother's death is like hit me to the core.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because my brother passed away, so it's like the things that I've always wanted to say or do, like I have the choice in the game, you know. So it's just like it hit me. And, like I'm like trying not to cry talking about it right now.
And there's also like the little stuff of like, you know, you get these flashbacks and you see Alex with like the brown hair, and then you just like, oh, she has blue hair all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And you kind of start putting together like why she's wearing this oversized jacket and stuff. It's like, oh man, like it's kind of, there's subtlety there in addition to the kind of in your face stuff, and the way they like you can like kind of pick someone to hang out with.
Yeah.
And that affects what happens.
Yeah. And like what you say to people expects like their like how they treat you throughout the game, and how like if you're shitty to someone, they really won't care about you or help you, and like, you know, they could die or live. Especially at the end where it's kind of like about you take that picture at the end, and it's kind of like who's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and like I didn't realize, because there's that part at the end where you're in like the loops as the reflection, and I realized that you are doing that for other people's games.
Yeah.
Of like you are essentially telling other players caught in their own time loops what you want them to do, what you think they should do, and like that just fucking blew my mind open. Because like there's a moment where I realized like, oh shit, like there's a username, like a PSN ID floating over these other versions of you, and it's like, oh fuck, man. This game is so good.
It's like it's essentially like what Journey did.
Yeah, it's what Journey did, but way more forward. And in a way that like once you consciously realize, like I didn't, when it took me back and it showed my name over Alex, and like I was like, oh, I'm telling my past self. And I didn't like fully realize that, no, I'm telling another player who's stuck in these loops what to do, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I listened to the other player. I followed them, and it kind of got me an ending I was really happy with.
Yeah. Well, how did your ending play out?
So I got I made up with Clarissa, who didn't explain anything, just by the way.
Yeah.
Clarissa explains, I don't think so. I befriended Jonas, and then Ren and Nona got together.
Okay. So I got that, but I also, this is like, I guess it was a trophy, and I didn't realize it when I did it. When you go back in time, you can tell her brother not to go.
Yeah.
And stay with Clarissa.
Yeah.
And he comes back to life at the end.
I know. I read
crazy.
about that. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The game's nuts.
So when he came back to life, I was like,
yeah, I bet. Like, no, that game is really cool for what it does. I wanna play through it like 3 more times, and And then like hearing about like the ending where you can like break the loop essentially.
Yeah.
Is
I'm
sick.
trying to figure out how to do it, but I've been meaning to go back this
I
year.
think you have
'Cause
to see all the other endings first.
Yeah, because I'm 3 trophies away from the platinum, so I have to do one where everyone hates me, and I have to do one where I don't make any decisions at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that game's smart. I really like that the team. I'm excited to see what they do next. That team.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like Sky. They're published by Skybound,
Bound.
who publishes a lot of Telltale stuff. It's break off some of the creative leads from Telltale. Yeah, they are on the map for me,
Yeah.
especially like the art style.
Oh yeah,
Man.
that sounds dope.
Even if they just did more games in that art style, I'd be so down.
Yeah.
Number 5, top 5. Let's go.
Top 5. Number 5, Doom.
Doom.
I wish
That's
I
a
could.
fucking video game.
Yeah, I wish I could say that, and then just like the music starts blaring.
Yo, we when we did our best, I guess people will be able to hear it now. When we did our best song category, fucking we playing the theme from Doom. I'm like, fuck, dude, I just want to go play Doom right now.
Exactly. See, for me, it was like I didn't think I was gonna care about that game, but my roommates Brendan and then Steven Santana were just like raving about this game, and then Giant Bomb, and I was like, and then Daniel Dwyer, and I was like, all right, fuck, I gotta go see like what they're talking about.
Yeah, me too.
And like the second I put it in, and like I got going with like the shotgun, I was like, oh, this feels so
You got the
good.
as soon as you get the double barrel shotgun, my whole
Yeah.
life changed. My
Exactly.
entire political opinion, my religious opinion, definitely my religious opinion. Like just everything changed in that moment. And
Yeah.
guns will never feel that good in games again.
I know, and like the fact that it was a game that was like, hey, we're not gonna give you the down the reticle scope, like it's just aim, shoot, move, and then like the chainsaw when you need ammo, like oh, dude, and the animations of just killing demons are fucking beautiful and gory and intense. I like had the biggest adrenaline rush while playing that game.
Yeah, dude. I was
Yeah.
having a heart attack. A little bit.
There-
Like
there were
I could
times
feel
where,
part
like,
of my heart dying.
I was like, I need water.
Yeah, no, you get a little dehydrated playing that game
Yeah,
in a very
Even now-
sexual way.
Even now, I still learn new things about that game because like I think they did a smart job of like when you find the files to read of what's going on and the characters and stuff. Like if you really look into it, there's more storytelling there. And then like when Giant Bomb talked about like Samuel Hayden, Satan, and like
Yeah.
and, like he was like this 900-year-old professor, and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't
Robot
realize that.
Satan.
Yeah, exactly. So
That
all
game's
of, like,
alright.
Yeah, and like, I think I appreciate it more and why it's higher on my list now. Watching Daniel Dwyer's video and what that game was going to be versus what it is now.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that yet.
Yeah,
Kind of want to get through Game of the Year stuff before I saw it, but
yeah,
it seems really cool. Like
yeah,
the research he did in that game. I as someone who never really cared about Doom ever.
yeah. And that's the thing, I didn't care about Doom either.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that game. I care now.
Yeah, it's crazy that game, not only that game, but the Bethesda, like how much they have grown in the past couple years, like the past 2 years now that they've had 2 years back to back their own conference at E3, and that they pulled a big ass crowd and people care about the games that they're making.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
And
rebooting
so, like-
these kind of classic shooter franchises too.
yeah. So like what they did with Doom, I'm excited to see what they do with Prey.
Yeah, dude. Prey just looks like Dishonored in space, and I'm like fucking so down.
Yeah, my goal this week is to get through Dishonored 1 so I can start Dishonored 2 finally.
Yo, dude, Dishonored 2 is really fucking good.
I know, that's why it's not on my list. And I couldn't give an honorable mention because I haven't even played it.
Well, you're a garbage truck.
Maybe it'll be on my best old game next year.
Doom's real good.
Yeah.
Number
Doom's
4.
Real good. Number 4, The Witness. That
Okay,
game
go
came out-
on.
That game came out at a good time for me. It came out early in the year. It came out at the same time that Oxenfree did, but I played The Witness first, and it just was like something that filled the time for me. But it made me. At first, I got frustrated to the point where I was like, "Why did I fucking buy this game?" And then, when I kept hearing people talk about it, like, just take time away and come back to it. And so I took my time away and I came back to it, and I felt smarter because I was thinking about that game, like, when I wasn't playing it. And I did have like a sketchbook where I was sketching some of the puzzles, but every time it added a new idea and a new mechanic to the game, like I had to like sit there and like, all right, let me look at it, and like figure this out. But that game itself is the epitome of like the phrase, look at the bigger picture. Yeah.
It's The Witness. I mean, that game ultimately like pushed me away, but it is very cool. I respect it to some degree quite a bit, just because of how vehemently different it is. Like there are no video games like The Witness that exist.
when people told me it was like, oh, it's like the Talos Principle or like Myst, I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna like this game.
Yeah, dude, Myst, man. Let's talk about Myst for 4 hours.
Oh gosh, no. um, but yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, like that game kept fighting the top 3 spot, even number 1 spot. But it came to a point where I was like, all right, I gotta really look at it. What else I've been like played this year? But
finish it?
Yes, I've not platinum it though.
I don't care. I don't care who's platinum that game.
I know, but like I'm still missing some puzzles to finish the game. Like to like.
Did you get to the crazy shit in that game?
Yeah, I got to the crazy shit. I got the crazy ending.
I looked that up recently because I don't care anymore, and holy
Yeah.
fucking shit!
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so when I saw it, I was like, what is this? I was like, what does this all mean?
What the fuck is this FMB? Like, yo, he's pulling the shit out of it. He's got a catheter, his pee
Yeah.
jar. Like, what is happening? Yeah, that game is fucking weird. Like, it
like-
gets weird.
Exactly. I was like, Jonathan Blow, man, this is your life.
Run around looking for fucking puzzles.
Yeah, but that game is just so fucking cool. Like, the fact that like you can look at an environment and go, oh, holy shit, this is a picture that they're painting, and this is like a story and like the answer to like a puzzle that I'm looking for. And like the idea of like look at the whole picture, change your angles, change your point of view, and like have a different mentality for things in that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good game to be kind of like. I get that people raged about it in the sense of like they got frustrated, but it's a very peaceful game.
Yeah. It there are parts of it that I feel are kind of directly antagonistic to the player that I think are genuinely frustrating. But like on surface level, it is like serene in a way that is cool.
Yeah, and like when it came out, Mitch Dyer before he left IGN did an article about games that like help with depression, and that was on the list. And for me, it really did do that for me in moments of like really low times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to forget everything about The Witness and go back to it at some point, which I'm sure I will because I barely remember anything about it. I mean, this fucking swamp Tetris block puzzle. God damn it, I hated those. But
yeah,
I'm glad you liked it.
yeah.
It doesn't seem like a you kind of game too. It's
I know, which was weird.
Yeah, I'm glad it stuck with you to some degree.
Yeah.
Number 3.
The Last Guardian.
Yeah, you just finished this today.
I just finished this today. What an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
I know that like you told me Knowledge and ruin something for you, so I don't want to say anything that's gonna ruin it for you because this game is a you and me game.
It's weird like playing it. It's definitely too long, I feel, but it's cool at the same time.
Yeah, I think in the sense of too long is kind of not a dumb thing to think about it because there is a trophy to beat the game in 5 hours, so it is possible just to do a 5-hour playthrough and not rushing, just playing the game in general. But if you take your time, there are a lot of little things in that game that you'll notice that'll make you appreciate it more. In the sense of the world that it takes place in, like the tower and this whole environment you're in, is telling a story of why the place is like this, what's happening. Certain statues like you look at will kind of represent like this is the culture here, this is what's happening, this is why Trico's here, these are why these guardian like these machine guardian things are here. And then like as like the storytelling's from the kid's perspective as a narrator, like he's talking to somebody telling the story of him and Trico. And it's very cool the way that they use him to like if you're kind of stuck, he gives you a tip of like this is what you need, this is like I noticed this is happening and this is what I had to do and stuff, which is cool. But the way the relationship is with the boy and Trico is very important and is what drives the story for me and what made me connect with it and like feel so emotionally attached and like put it in this place for me. Especially when you get to the ending. The ending kind of takes everything that like you've questioned and wondering and like why, and it just puts a nice bow on it, but a very emotional one.
Yeah, I like it. It's different. It feels like a shift away from like Shadow and Eco too, because like this, it takes place in fucking ancient ruins again.
Yeah.
But like they feel newer in a way. Like this place feels younger than Shadow, right?
Yeah.
Where you're in like this whole kingdom in Shadow of the Colossus, and all of it's gone. all of
Yeah.
it's destroyed. It
Yeah,
feels
it's
like it
just
was
a barren land.
yeah, it feels like it was taller and built up before, and everything has fallen apart since.
Yeah.
Whereas this kind of like there are patches of grass breaking through the rocks here and there, but for the most part, things feel together in a way I feel like they didn't in Shadow. Eco, they definitely did, but this is somewhere in the middle between those two, and it's like a
Yeah.
little dilapidated, but
The
it's
last place you go to
mm-hmm.
is very different than anything else in the game. Not in the sense of the mechanics, but the environment it takes place in.
Yeah, and like
It's
that's honestly like those are some of my favorite parts about those games because like the Team Eco does like fucking ancient ruins in like this really weird kind of European way that is really cool.
yeah. There's always a twist, and the twist in this is very like, oh my fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see it.
Yeah.
Like I want to finish it. It's just like it's really not. It's not hitting all the notes for me. It's hitting some
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah. It took a while for me, and it's harder now living with roommates because this is a game that I would want to play by myself with nobody home, and like.
Just crying by yourself.
Well, but like to take everything in because like there were moments where I was like feeling kind of emotional watching, and then Tony would make a dumb comment, and I'm like, and it's
Tony.
well, it's him
I mean,
or Brendan said something, so like it really took me out of it. So like yesterday when I got home and I was just like,
where
really
Brendan
bad.
just loudly says, "This isn't anime enough."
Exactly. No, he came out and he was like, "This game is beautiful."
You're like, "Why are you so loud?"
But yeah, just the ending really hits it hard, and then even the epilogue hits it like the ending leaves you kind of like kind of a little brokenhearted and with questions, and then the epilogue hits you with like, no, this is what's going on, and then it's just like a very heartfelt moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a cool game. At the very least, like the way that Trico is done is very well done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, my frustrations about it is that they don't really do a good job of, well, just Team Ico in general, they don't ever actually do this in any of their games where they kind of tell you like, oh, this is what you need to be doing to get past this part.
mm-hmm.
And so there's a puzzle mechanic with Trico's tail, and they never explain it once. And once I found out about it, I was like, oh shit.
Like the one at the beginning.
No,
Okay.
it's like you're at the part right now where you actually need to like use his tail for things.
Okay.
Like I didn't even know you could grab his tail and move it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd kind of figured that out at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's cool. I like it is very ambiguous in that same way, but
Yeah. It's a very Team Ico game.
yeah. So
Yeah, and
it's
it-
one of those video games.
Yeah. It kind of sucks knowing that
They'll never make another video game again.
yeah. That
Or at least not like this.
Well, they're not a team anymore, aren't they? Isn't it disbanded while this game is being made?
I think they were just like absorbed into Studio Japan.
Studio Japan. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Those guys are still out there. I imagine they'll splinter off, and some of them will at least make something. But
Yeah. Shadow
Yeah.
of the Colossus 2.
Shadow of the Colossus 3. That's right. The Trace.
They're just gonna jump straight ahead.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No time for twos.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I can't wait for you to finish it so we can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry that Nabashin spoils parts for you.
I mean, it was like I wasn't upset about it. He brought up a thing about other things that come and attack your thing, and I was like,
oh, dude, no, that part's like,
yeah, but like, I mean, like I'd seen one already, so like it doesn't come as super a surprise. I didn't know there were more, but
yeah, that's the part for me. And then like what happens is even more like, I don't know if he told you what they do, and that part is like the
no,
oh my fuck.
he just told me like, well, like, kind of, but he just kind of set that scene up, just talking about like the investment in that relationship. But
Yeah.
we had to talk about some of the stuff if we were gonna put that game where we ended up putting it. So
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil our Game of the Year content for listeners out there.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Final Fantasy 15.
Damn.
And I wish I could make it number 1.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you?
A little bit. And just in the sense of like this was everything that I wanted, but my number 1 is like a game that like I very invested more time into and cared about a lot and had great times. But this game, like,
You're still pretty much the only person I've really talked to about this game.
yeah, you and me connect on it a ton.
Yeah.
And I think it's special for me to talk to you about it.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
like, my thing is people are so upset about that game, like emotionally upset about like the things that game does wrong, which it does things wrong for
yeah,
sure. But like, it really frustrated because I knew that this game wasn't going to be versus 13, right?
yeah.
Like I knew it from the
I think,
moment they reannounced it.
and it's like I've talked to you about it where I'm like I can't stand the fact that people are like this took 10 years and it was like no
No, this was made in 3 years.
3 years. Yeah,
Like this was a bunch of pre-production assets and a half-finished engine and 3 years ago, and then they made that into this.
yeah,
And it's just like I get it. Like people wanted versus 13, they didn't get it.
yeah,
And when that game like immediately went off the deep end, they were never going to get it. And I like there was like they were gonna tell a different story with versus 13. It was
yeah.
gonna be more emotional. I think it was gonna be more linear. I think.
Yeah,
I think the
the more I hear
game.
about it, because like I've like obviously now that I'm done with it, I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of comments of people talking about what 13 was gonna be versus 13 gonna be, and the idea of like Noctis's sleep was gonna play a big part of the game. That like when he falls asleep, he enters the dream realm, and like you know
Mhm,
at the end of 15 last chapter, he's in the realm for 10 years with Bahamut
mhm.
and all that. That he can enter that realm whenever he wants in that game, but in that realm there was like a dark side to him that would come out.
Yeah, I mean, like, I my thing is like the game that is in front of me with that game was one I was really happy with,
Exactly.
and I think most of whenever people talk about this game negatively, they do bring up like the possibility of what that game is, but I think not taking it for granted, it make as a thing that's humble and makes a lot of mistakes. Uh, the game in front of you is quite good,
Yeah,
and if you
I think it's one of the best games of this year. And I think it was totally like everything that they promoted 15 to be, not versus 13, but 15 3 years ago. Like we didn't get everything it was promoted to be, but it was still something special at the end of the day, and it was something amazing that, you know, Nomura was able to pull off with his team.
Tabata,
Or Tabata, yeah, sorry.
no worries.
Yeah,
But Nomura's off there. He's making that Kingdom Hearts 3.
exactly.
I love Final Fantasy 15,
Yeah,
and it really earns everything it does at the end.
yeah, and like we've talked about where, you know, I sent you that text of that girl who was just like, "Oh, prepare to be underwhelmed," to like Jessica Negri, and I was like, I hate that mentality, and like the fact that I know that person has not played it. Where I'm told like it's not about like the gameplay is really like the gameplay and the combat feels great.
I sent
The
a tweet
camera,
to someone today, and like some rando responded to it with some like just overwhelmingly negative thing that I disagreed with, and I just blocked them on Twitter.
yeah, that's where I've
Uh,
gone to that game. But yeah, and it's just like the gameplay is great. The repetitive of the quests, it's not even that bad because when you're building like that game is about the four of them and their relationship and how it grows throughout like the 10-year storyline.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's that loop. Like that loop is intoxicating.
Yeah.
It's effective and it's well done.
Yeah.
Like I think not giving it credit for the fact that it is a well done video game. It accomplishes exactly what it wants to accomplish. Like from the opening scene, it's for me it's a lot like The Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
From the opening scene, you're like, I know what this game is about, and it spends the rest of the game delivering on that.
Yeah.
Just like The Last of Us, you know, you see that prologue, like you're like, okay, this is the story of this game. I know knowing like the premise of this game, I know exactly what this is about, and then it delivers on that.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways it's very similar to Metal Gear Solid 5, another game I really really liked
So did I.
for its flaws, and in spite of them. So I don't know, there it is too easy to brush that game off as like failed potential when I think it does deliver on a lot of its potential as well.
Yeah. And there's just like really heartwarming and like overly emotional parts in the sense of like if you've like invested everything, like if you watch King's Landing, if you watch the anime, like if you stay in that hotel and then that prompto scene is like one of the most like heartfelt parts and like genuine like relationship parts, and then even like cooking the soup with Ignis or going on a hunt with Gladio,
Mm-hmm.
like everything about the relationship like builds and like makes that game smarter and broader from everything that they tried to bring to the table with it. And then that final campfire scene is like, it takes you to that point where like this is what we want, like this is what the game is about.
Yeah, this is what the game's about.
Yeah.
And I also, I'm sure I'll talk about this in my top 10 video, but I don't think Kingsglaive or Brotherhood are necessary. So
I think Brotherhood is not necessary. I don't think Kingsglaive is necessary at all because they add the cutscenes. But I think Brotherhood is not necessary, but I recommend it for you to want to care about these characters' relationships more.
I mean, like, anything can enrich that game, but like you could say that, I feel like you could say the same thing about like Crisis Core to Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
But like I think the game can stand on its own 2 feet as well.
Yeah.
And I know, like, whatever, take my opinion with a grain of salt because I've seen both of them, but I genuinely believe that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That game's great.
I'm glad we're defenders of that game.
Yeah. I mean, like, we both came to the consensus that it wouldn't be number one for each of us, for either of us. But, like, I don't know. There are parts of that are my favorite game of this year as well. So
yeah.
But fuck all those games. None of them matter. They're all garbage, useless garbage cans. Number 1.
Overwatch.
Fucking, if you say Genji at all, swear to God,
I just want to be him.
fucking let it go.
Oh, dude, that game, I don't think it was a surprise to anybody because Blizzard has the formula of making a great game.
It was a surprise to me that I cared about it.
Yeah. Because I remember people were playing about it, and I was like, I don't care. And then people were like, go buy it. And I was like, okay. And I bought it, and then I was like, oh shit.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I've tasted greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is wonderful. Really mastered the craft of hero shooters. Better than Team Fortress 2. The characters are all wonderful, and then they give you a variety. Like, I don't want to be that person that says like the idea of like there's a character for everybody, because obviously it's the same thing. It's like, oh, there's 1,000 channels on TV but nothing to watch. But they do give you broad enough like things to care about one character at least.
Yeah, it's more of like there's 23 channels on TV and I want to watch all of them at the same time.
Yeah. And then just Blizzard in general cares about its fan base, where there's a lot of community feedback constantly. And then like in this year, like we've already gotten 2 new characters.
Yep. Well, last year. Yeah.
Or this past year, we've gotten 2 new characters, and we've gotten like 4 new maps.
2 new maps.
Really?
Yeah, there's the Frozen one and Eichenwald.
Well, the Frozen one, Eichenwald, and the one that just came out.
That came out in 2017.
Did it? Well, whatever. And then...
I haven't seen the new one. I didn't know there was a new one.
Yeah. And then even like... I'm someone that doesn't, in the mindset, like, I don't really care for MOBAs, and then like... the spending money for skins and all that stuff. But man, like this, I'm hooked. Every time I open a loot box, that animation's just so good, and like, I get hyped. I'm like, give me the skin that I want.
I don't think that animation's that good, but like I like the loot.
Yeah, I do like the loot.
Except I fucking 3 grays and a blue every goddamn. Oh, Danny.
Yes.
Juarez. I just wanted that Mercy skin, and I didn't play it all during the fucking Halloween event. Because I had other video games I gotta get through.
Yeah, I didn't get any Halloween skins. I didn't get
any Christmas skins.
I did get one Christmas skin. I got the
I got the fucking Reaper white skin. It's like, fucking, it's white. Who cares?
I got the Winston Yeti skin, and it is fucking awesome. Yeah. I think they do a great job too. They add, like with communication, they've added more chances to get loot boxes with the 3v3s and the 1v1s weekly. And if you win them, you have 6 loot boxes for winning 6 matches. And so like they do a good job of not this idea of like dangling a loot box in front of you of like, oh, you got to put in all this work to get a free loot box. Like the leveling up system is really good, especially like they add more experience for like playing with the team and all that stuff. Doing like the 3v3s, the 1v1s, and winning them, like you get a free loot box, and then it updates weekly, like it resets weekly, which is cool.
Yeah, but we gotta get the fam back together.
I know that's the goal for this year. It just sucks because so many of our friends who have been playing while we've been playing other video games are playing competitively, and they're already so high up in rankings this season where it's like, oh, I can't play with you because you're not a
I
high
haven't
enough
played a
level.
single ranking match, so
Yeah.
that was season 3. So let's
See,
go.
Griffin comes over and plays my matches for me because he's like, oh, I want to play on a low account. I'm like, all right, whatever.
That's bullshit. You should tell Griffin this fucking master rank bullshit to to stop it.
Yeah. So, listen, dude. Once you're done with all this, let's get some Overwatch matches in.
Cool. I mean, I'll be dead when I'm done with all this, so that's nice. But yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, Overwatch, like, it is the pinnacle for hero shooters and what first-person shooters should be like.
yo, like people keep comparing this to Team Fortress 2. I think Team Fortress 2 is a bad video game. So
I don't remember playing that game. I know I had Orange Box. I just don't remember playing Team Fortress 2 at all.
I don't think it's a fun video game in any sense of the word. So
yeah. And as well as like some people are like, oh, well, the maps aren't that great. I was like, well, the maps, I love that the maps tell a story about characters. Like the Antarctica map tells a story of May and like why she's like there and what her character is, and then like
I think the maps are great. So I
Yeah.
just think those people are straight up wrong. How about
exactly. Yeah. Fuck you.
that? Hey, Overwatch haters, fuck you.
Exactly. And so like everything about that, like what Blizzard's doing with that game and that community is awesome. And I put so much time into it where it's like it can't not be number one for me right now.
Yeah, it's the thing I kept coming back to
Yeah.
throughout the year. The thing when I wasn't going back to, I wanted to go back to.
Yeah.
All right, Danny, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
It was all right. He had Gears
I
of
mean-
War 4 on there, so
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm the only one that has Gears of War 4 on their list.
you're not the only one. A couple people had
Yeah.
that on the list. Let's look ahead.
Yeah.
2017. What you looking forward to, buddy?
Resident Evil 7, which is crazy. How
Is it gonna be
excited I am
seventh
for that
Resident
game.
Evil game?
Yeah.
You playing VR? You gonna lose yourself to it?
I might
You-
poop myself playing in VR.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we won't be able to afford to get in VR. It's fine.
I know. I won't get one for like till summer. But I'm excited for that game. I think Capcom is hitting all the right notes with it. And like every time I read about preview events and people talk about it, and then the fact that people are like, this is their return to Resident Evil. This is what we want. This is the Minecraft manner. And I was like, yes, give it to me.
Yeah.
And
I'm curious about the game. I've never really played. I've been playing the first Resident Evil for the first time ever recently, and it's cool. So
Yeah, I would say when you're done, play the demo. Now that it's fully updated, there's a lot of cool things in it, and
I hear it's pretty spoopy though.
it is really spoopy. And especially if you're playing downstairs in your basement with the lights off.
Yeah, dude, it's spoopy as fuck down here.
Yeah. I'll come find out and play with you.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
Persona 5.
There's a new Kingdom Hearts story coming out in like 3 weeks, dude.
I know. I can't believe it. I'm about to cry.
And then they're porting Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2,
to
1.5 and 2.5
2.5.
in March to PS4.
I know.
And they still have platinum trophies. Also, fun fact.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Even
why
though you
think
don't
they're
believe.
Yeah, I should probably platinum those games on PS3 and then platinum them on PS4.
I'm so close to the Kingdom Hearts 2 platinum, but I have to play through that game on critical mode.
I can do that. It's more so playing the game through with just Kingdom Key.
Well, you don't. That's Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
In Kingdom Hearts 2, you don't have to do that shit.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
yeah, you just have to beat it on
Okay.
critical.
Yeah.
Persona 5,
Oof.
April.
I know, dude. Give me that sweet anime goodness.
Dude.
Sometimes
I've been waiting for that game for like 8 years now, and I don't even know. Like, I don't think it's gonna get delayed again. I think it's actually gonna come out,
yeah. I know. What else am I gonna be playing? I think it's coming out at a good time too, April, because there's nothing really.
April's
coming out
great.
in the
There's
summer.
there's
Yeah.
probably gonna be some stuff in May, but like nothing's happening in April yet. So
Yeah.
um,
It's a good
you
time
make-
to invest some time into that game.
you gonna make the Switch?
Is it coming to Switch?
No, I'm asking you. Are you gonna make the Switch?
Oh, am I? Yes, 100%. Especially if that $250 leak is real. You best believe I'm about to play some Breath of the Wild.
I really want to believe in that platform. It's funny, like when this goes out, people already know kind of what that is. So
I know the live event's coming out soon.
yeah,
20th?
this Thursday
Oh, okay.
from when we're recording this. So
Mm.
there will be like some Rational Passions thing afterwards, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else you're looking forward to?
I have hope for Nintendo. Horizon. The more I see that game, the more I keep getting hyped about it.
I'm Concernicus.
What are you concerned about?
I don't know. Like, what if it's just like another fucking open world game with crafting? I'm like, well, I guess.
And you don't really care about the character?
Well, I mean, like, it's weird. We haven't seen how they're gonna tell that story, but the world seems cool. I don't know yet.
Yeah. I think that's it, because for 2017, that's all I really got that, like, I remember coming out.
Are you on the Red Dead 2 hype train?
I am, but I don't think it's coming out 2017.
All right, well,
I feel like we're going to get a delay.
I think it'll come out. We'll see.
And then the rumor, I mean, apparently people, because PlayStation put out that game's like, look forward to 2017, like Detroit and God of War, and I'm like,
God of War's not coming out this year.
yeah, I was like, huh.
Fucking, there's no
Like,
way.
Possibly Detroit. I don't know about God of War. I doubt it. But if Detroit is coming out this year, I'm excited for
Detroit,
that.
I think, might come out this year.
Yeah.
That's a good, like, December game. And you know,
so?
I love Beyond Two Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like that game?
I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Heavy Rain, but I don't like the gripe that people give about it.
I like the way the story was told.
I liked it a lot, and I played through the PS4 version. When you beat it once, you can play through it all in like chronological time order, which I think is even cool playing it that way too.
Mm-hmm. I like that game a whole lot because it's like a really long X-Files story.
Yeah.
And it's like the part where like shit is going down.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. So,
yeah.
And that was their last game, and I'm excited for Detroit. Detroit looks amazing. So
Yeah, the more I see about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I'm excited. Give me some robots, give me some detective, give me some storytelling,
yeah,
give me some blue blood.
give me some of that blue blood.
Yeah.
That's it, Danny. This is the last podcast I'm recording for Game of the Year 2016.
Well, it's been an honor.
Save the best for last.
Oh, my heart.
Thank you for coming on one more time. I mean, like, you don't have any like products right now.
No, I don't got anything on the table. Working on things now.
Rational Passions West
is possibly happening. Working on it.
I keep bringing it up, and I
yeah.
think it should actually happen.
I think it should too. I just got to do it in the right way. And I'm planning to work on some writing for you. And then on right now is trying to start this new job and get enough money so I can buy a ticket to PAX East and hang out with you guys and go there.
Mm-hmm.
And if I get all my writing together, since now that I have a lot more free time, possibly cover the show floor with you.
Yeah, that would be quite fun.
Yeah, we'd nail it.
Danny, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
To everyone who watched this or listened to it, either on youtube.com/Irrational Passions or the Irrational Passions RSS feed, thank you so much for listening to all of our Game of the Year content. If you did, this will be the last thing that goes up on that Friday. I mean, everything's out now, meaning you got to see their parts 1 through 5 of the Irrational Passions Game of the Year episodes. You got to see all the top 10s, all of our guests. Thank you to all of them for coming and hanging out. There's an Alex Talks up for my personal top 10 games of 2016. As well as honorable mentions. I mean, there's more Game of the Year content than you can shake a stick at. Thank you so much to everyone who devoted some time to it. It's been a lot of hard work for me. I'm sure if people have been following me on Twitter in the weeks leading up to this, they know I've been falling apart at the seams, but it's all worth it because a lot of people really, really like this stuff. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all found at least 1 or 2 guests that you hadn't heard of and that you really liked and that maybe you'll check more out of. With that, for everyone at Irrational Passions and myself, thank you so much, and it's been our pleasure to serve you.